Hello, everyone. My name is Sean. I am the CryptoSmith. I love saying that. It's just an automatic, thing since I've done now 100 videos. Welcome everybody to the stream. I don't do this often, and I like to do it more, but here we are tonight. It's Saturday. It's been a great day here in Idaho. Chaka Crypto, how are you, sir? Good to see you. So tonight we're going to go over a plethora of projects. Of course, MetaMonkey AI, and I've got Larry from Crypto Talk Now. He's got his own channel. He's got a great channel. He's been doing live streams for quite a while. Let me bring up Larry now.
Hey, how's it going, Sean?
I'm great, Larry. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. I've had a great day. I had my children this weekend, and I just a little short on time. I raced back. I was really excited. I've been saying, for the last few days, I'm excited to be on your show. I had my son had sorry, I'm just getting over a cold. My son he's part of Young Americans for Freedom. It's a group through his high school, and what they did is a tribute for 9/11. They put like almost 3,000 flags in the ground, the little ceremonial flags. And so I was kind of racing back because that's an hour away from my house. But I'm so grateful that I'm here, and I'm excited that you're doing live streams. And I, hope that you continue to do them because you're doing a great job. You're really well-spoken and knowledgeable with your crypto knowledge. And it's a pleasure to have met you.
I appreciate it. I really do. Let's go through the chat here real quick.
All right.
Red Sox, let's go. MMAI. Yes, sir. Man, the charts. I don't know. Let's flip this chart here real quick.
Oh, yeah. It's looking great.
Yeah, it is looking fantastic. Like this, there's nothing. I mean, obviously, we're going to see some people taking profits here soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem. Not a problem at all. Mm-hmm. Racket Club. What is good, brother? How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Racket Club.
I met Racket Club the other day on Nick's stream, on Texas Tornado stream for the first time. Yeah. So I was happy to meet him. He's a nice young man.
Cool. Yeah, he is. He's a great guy. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about, actually, I want to ask you a few more questions. So
sure.
I don't know you, all that well, talked to you a couple times, but how did you get into crypto? Like what, just quick.
I'll give you the painful story first. So the painful story is kind of what got me into it the second time around, full bore or hardcore, because, a long time ago, back in 2013, when I lived in another area of North Carolina, I was involved in a program called Y Guides, which is kind of like the Boy Scouts. And I remember taking my son on this camping trip, and there was a couple of dads in there it was the dads and the sons. There was a couple of dads on this camping trip that were talking about Bitcoin. This was back in 2013. And I was intrigued because I'm not really a tech guy, but I've always, my best friend works for IBM. Max is a tech guy. So I've kind of gravitated towards, I guess you could say tech people or intelligent people because I like to learn. I'm more of a marketing guy. So they're talking to me and I'm talking to them, asking them questions for 2 hours about Bitcoin because I had never heard of it before. And they were telling me all about it. And they said, yeah, the friend from work had like 80 of them. And at the time, Bitcoin was around $600 a Bitcoin. And I was like, wow, I'm going to buy probably like 10 of them, because they didn't have wallets back then. And I didn't really completely understand it, but I was going to rely on the guy's name was Jeff. He was going to help me through it. So then I get home from that camping trip and I have a friend of mine that's literally the next door neighbor. Now he worked, he still does. I haven't seen him in a few years, but he works for the DEA. And he says to me, Larry, he's like, I'm going to tell you something. Cause I ran it by him because we're friends. And he's like, I'm going to tell you something. You don't want to get involved with crypto and this Bitcoin stuff. And really, I don't even think he used the word crypto. He just said Bitcoin. And I said, well, why is that? And he's like, well, because, that's, money laundering and all kinds of crazy stuff. And drug dealers use it. And I was just like, so he discouraged me from doing it. I was like, damn it. Oh, shoot. There's an echo. Is that from mine?
No, I got it.
Okay. All right. So I was like, damn it. I'm like, he discouraged me from doing it. So I listened to him because he was a trusted friend. And so I didn't do it. So fast forward, I started messing around with crypto about 2 years ago. And then I got full time into it. I would say, September of last year, I did it full time and then started the YouTube channel in October. So I just went full bore. I don't have any other sources of income. I just I sold off a business, and I just decided I really loved it. I wanted to focus on crypto, and then I wanted to focus on talking about it. So that's kind of the long story. But what happened to me in the past, the missed opportunity I had in the past with investing in it, because I had invested in other stuff like stocks and bonds and mutual funds and even commodities a long time ago. So I missed that opportunity, but that kind of made me, okay, laser focused this time around, because the thing that kind of got my attention was, the Dogecoin thing, because I kind of puttered around with it for a while, but the Dogecoin thing really opened my eyes up, and I got into that and did well with it, and then did well with Shiba Inu, and then did good with Saitama, although Saitama turned out to be a disappointment for most, but including me. But the point of the matter is like, I was like, all right, well, I missed my chance with Bitcoin, because I probably would have been, probably a crypto millionaire by now.
Right.
But I missed it. I'm like, this time I'm going to really focus on it, and I'm not going to listen to the naysayers that say that it's a scam or it's, money laundering. And I mean, that stuff occurs. There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of money laundering. There's a lot of negative things, especially when you're looking at it from the outside in. But once you get into it, you have to kind of navigate the waters to find out what's safe in crypto.
Yeah, you're right. And to those people, and there's lots of them out there that still say that same thing. But they, I say, well, what about the dollar? Do I stay away from the dollar bill because it's used for scams and money laundering? Like, it's just
exactly, yeah.
That's the number one instrument that is used for crime is the dollar.
That's true.
Yep. So, yeah, time to get paid. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you showing up. Appreciate the support there, buddy. MetaMonkey is whooping ass. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Racket. We're all looking good. Yeah, we are. It's nice to see when we've been so red for so long and just all these up and downs. Crypto for starters. What is up, brother?
Hey,
thanks
what's up, Alex? How are you? Yeah.
Appreciate the support. Alex, a good friend now in the space. Chaka Crypto, yep, saying hi. Crypto Lounge.
Michael from Crypto Lounge. Yeah, that's good to see you guys.
Super cool guy there. He's got great content.
I got to go on his channel. I've been dragging my feet because I've been so busy, but I want to get with Michael, Alex, and Chaka. I have to go on all their channels, and Racket Club if he would like me to come on. Everybody's. I'm gonna go do a world tour of YouTube channels, because I've been I've been procrastinating with that because I've been busy working on my own stuff, and I've started this amazing fitness routine because I'm kind of a workaholic, and I took a step back a couple weeks back or so, and I said, I need to start. I'm getting a little bit older, and I need to start exercising more. So I've been doing that.
And me, dude, I'm in my 50s, man. And it is not easy getting motivated to exercise and all that, but it just gets harder and harder.
Well, you look younger. I mean, you keep yourself in good shape, so that's good.
Well, I appreciate that. So I hear you're going to do a shirtless stream when you get all ripped and stuff.
I tell you what, I live in a remote area, so I play basketball on the road. And this morning I'm out there, I'm always am, 7 a.m, playing basketball, because I do that before I eat breakfast and everything, because you just burn calories. And I'm out there, and this old man every once in a while walks down. I'm thinking this guy's 72 years old. And I talk to him, I say hello to him, but he never told me his age. And I'm talking to him, and he's like, yeah, Larry, he's like, I'm from the Appalachian Mountains, and, I enjoy exercise. And he's like, because I said, look, I'm trying to get in shape. And he's like, well, when you're my age, it's mostly walking. And I was like, wow. I'm like, and he's like, it's good to see you walking almost every day. He's like, yeah, I'm 84 years old. I'm like, you're 84 years old? Are you kidding me? I thought you were 71 or 72. He's like, no. So I said, look, if I look like you when I'm 84, I'm going to be very grateful and happy. By the way, I'm grateful for everybody that's here and Sean. But I'm just thinking to myself, man, I want to be like this guy. This guy was my hero because he's 84. I'm not telling you, I wasn't just saying this to make him feel good. He really looked like he was 72 years old. So I was like, man, there's hope for me if I just keep exercising.
Yeah, you got to be active. You got to get out there and be active for sure.
Yep.
Michael with Crypto Lounge, I just wanted to say he has one of the best backgrounds in the business right now. And
I saw that. Yeah, I saw a stream of his the other day, or a video. Maybe it was recorded, but I noticed he's a high tech. He's got high tech. I don't know what to call it, not theatrics, but he's got a good presentation. He's got good sound. He's got good graphics. So it's he's got a really professional looking show. That's great. I had to kind of pick his brain to see what I can do to improve mine. Oh, there's Nick from Texas Tornado.
Nick, Texas Tornado, brother. How are you doing, sir?
This is a show of influencers that are here tonight, or I should say Well, Texas Tornado, he likes to say content creators, which I don't blame him, because influencers is like, I don't know if I really like that word.
I don't like to influence. I really don't. I don't consider myself an influencer. I don't really influence anybody.
I would prefer just to be content creator would be safer.
Yeah, just a YouTuber. Whatever. It doesn't bother me. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Texan. I appreciate you guys showing up.
Thank you.
Let's talk about MetaMonkey.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on, obviously we had a very smooth launch, right? The pre-sale was great, ended perfectly. We've got the launch went well. Everything is going nicely, as planned, I guess. And then we got 3 exchanges coming out, right?
Right.
LBank on, I forget what is that, the 14th?
I'm not sure of the dates. I don't know the dates. I know there's LBank, Bitmart, and the other one, the name escapes me, but there's a third one. You probably know which one it is.
Yeah, I had it written down, but I don't have that paper anymore.
That's okay. Yeah, it's okay. But the point is, I have something over here. Did you see there's a notice? Well, we can talk about that later. But yeah, there's 3 exchanges coming out, and the wallet coming out soon too. So.
Yeah, it is. And that was one of the things I wanted to talk about, because obviously, they said they was going to drop right after the launch, and then, they had to, I guess, retract that a little bit because there was some aesthetics. I think Awesome Austin said there was some aesthetics, that they wanted to fix because didn't look right or perfect, I guess. And having a wallet that you can use offline and online is obviously something that's not been done, and nobody else has done it. And it needs to be right. But I think they're going to go through a period of beta testing, kind of releasing it, a little at a time, and let people out here who are using it and test it, and give feedback and make sure everything is what it's supposed to be before they go live and you actually roll money through there. So kudos to them for that. It is a little bit disappointing. We didn't want to see changes or I guess maybe deadlines missed right out of the gate, but it happens. It's going to happen, and we're going to have to suck it up and move on.
Well, my glass is 3/4 full. I'm looking at it this way. I know it may be a disappointment for some, but I think it's actually a blessing in disguise, because I would prefer that they take their time and test, which I said to them in the past, please make sure that it's properly tested, which I know they will. And then that way it doesn't turn into something where, there's some bugs or something like that, areas of concern, which I don't anticipate with this team, with the, the knowledge base that they have, the partnerships that they have. They have 2 think tanks now. I call them like the brain trusts. But I think that they're going to be, I think people will be pleasantly surprised, because I think the direction they're going, there's always going to be news surrounding this collection. I mean, to me, it's an investment in a technology company. It's much more than a crypto. But that's just the way I view it. And I don't think that, I know like some people might have been like, oh, we need to have like 10 or 20x out of the gate on the first day, but I never anticipated that. I was looking for something that was slow and steady, similar to what happened with Terrarium. We talk about Terrarium. It was one of the best launches in recent memory that I've seen was Terrariums. And I got into that on the day of launch. So, I think that we're going to be just fine with MetaMonkey AI. I think that people need to understand it's not a pump and dump. It's something to be patient with. And the fact that it's slowly growing is, to me, a good sign.
Mentalect, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate your support.
Yeah, Mentalect. Yeah, I've seen you. He comes to our stream a lot. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So talking about, so the wallet, yeah. So and it doesn't hurt, I don't care personally whether they need to take more time or not, because I'm in it for the long run. So
long term, yeah, me too.
But I can kind of see how people are gonna, especially people who didn't want to jump in and are gonna start throwing shade right away. But
yeah,
that's gonna happen. We're gonna have to deal with that, as it comes.
It's, and not only that, we're talking about crypto and not like stocks or investing in a rental property. We're looking at people that are in crypto are very impatient. It's like if you get up 8% in one day, it's like, well, that's okay, but there's another one that went up 38%, or like Luna went up the other day. Was it today or yesterday? Like 200%. We're spoiled by the way that these things pump. And and people want everything, instant gratification with crypto investment returns. So it's just the nature of the beast, really.
I think for the most part, we are we're probably out of those big explosive launches, and they 10x, 100x, overnight. I think we're anything that I'm going to say smart money is going to put their crypto into longer term plays, realistic, utility driven type projects. And even though everything is hype until there's real utility behind it,
right?
But you got to get behind something, if you're in this space. And I was just, it's funny, and I wanted to talk about this tonight too. So the 14th, Nick's saying the 14th for, I think it's L Bank.
Okay.
And then BKEX was the third one.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you, Chaka.
Chaka
Khan.
Tim Shea in the house.
Hey,
Tim
Shea.
How are you? Tim's always friendly, very friendly guy.
Yeah, Tim's at my show like pretty much every day. Yeah, he's OG of the OGs.
Yep. So I wanted to talk about and get your take on the size of crypto. So, I'm looking at, I don't know, I guess when you enter the crypto space, right? And I've been in since 2017.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's great.
So there was we went through that crash, and, I kind of lost interest at the time, and I wasn't really heavy into it. So it wasn't a big deal. And then, I had some crypto kitties. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah,
the original. Yeah. They were the original NFTs.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Okay.
And so I had a few of those, and they're worth, good money today, although I don't know where my wallet's at for them. So I lost that in the process, but it is what it is. And then I came back, a couple, I don't know, a year and a half ago or so, 2 years ago, maybe. But the size of the space, I think people forget how tiny crypto is.
Yeah.
Right. And you're looking at projects, and we can go back and forth and argue about what project's best and all that. But you look at projects, especially in the DeFi space, and a lot of these projects have, just mere thousands of holders, right? A few thousand holders, 10,000 holders. Saitama was, made it big, and they had a couple 100,000 holders at one point. But that shows you how tiny the space is, and how we expect like these crypto projects and tokens to act like real world businesses.
Yep.
Where we're investing in Apple or whatever. And there's, millions of people who are invested in that. So I think people do forget how tiny the space is, right? And you might be in it every day, and I'm in it every day. And some of the people watching, I'm sure, are in it every day. So it takes up, all of your mental capacity. But for the most part, there's not a lot of people. There really isn't. Let's see. Let's look at, MMA, I just started, right? So we have 1,200 holders, just over 1,200 holders. Let's go to, like Volt. Volt's a pretty good sized project now. 14,000. Terrarium, I know there were like 10,000, somewhere around there. So yeah, it's just, it's the difference one person can make in this chart. A whale is big, and people, do forget that. So what's your take on the size of the market, and when do you think we might gain another couple percent? Maybe we're 4% right now adoption. Where do you see us? How long do you think it's going to take before we see 10%?
Well, I think a lot of it hinges on the overall market. If you're speaking of that, I think it hinges as far as adoption in this country, in the US, is going to hinge on regulation, which I think is a double-edged sword, because in some ways, it's going to destroy, the fabric of what crypto was meant to be. But in other ways, it's going to provide security, safety, peace of mind for what I call the old money, which is the money that's tied up mostly like in the stock market, like in the US, for example, or even the markets, overseas, the equity markets, or, perhaps people that own 10 rental properties. Right now it's, to the outside world, because I've talked to people that, are invested in traditional equity markets, or like I said, real estate. And, people don't really understand crypto. Like, I have a friend of mine, my best friend has been working for IBM, I think for like 22 years. And he knows like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a couple others. And he didn't even understand the concept of, a wallet or DeFi. He understands like crypto.com, and he's had Coinbase for a few years. So And that's a high tech guy. So I'm just thinking to myself, I said to him about a few things, and he's hesitant because it's a trust thing. You know, people need to feel safe and secure. And I think with the regulation coming in, the only thing that I can think of that's positive, because they really don't care about people. I mean, I hate to say this, but it's not designed to protect people. They're going to make it look like they are protecting people, but it's really designed so that the government can get their piece of their pie. That's just my opinion. I mean, some people might say, oh, it's going to prevent the rug pulls. Well, that might happen as a symptom, but first they're going after the low-hanging fruit. They're going to go and attack, like what happened with Terra Luna. I still think that, you know, there was some government things going on behind the scenes. I'm not saying they're directly related, but I know that they're happy that it happened, the crash of Terra Luna. And they're going to go after low-hanging fruit, which is number one, the stable coins. And then number two, they make everyone KYC on the exchanges. And all they have to do is say to crypto.com, oh, I see you have all these customers. Also with getting their, you know, their ID and their social security number, would you also, by the way, provide us with a list of the wallets that they're sending, like these MetaMask wallets, trust wallets, all these different wallets that they're cashing out or moving money to? We just need, you know, just help us out. We just need a list of all that too, because we want to be able to make sure that everyone's paying their taxes and everyone's safe and none of this money is being used illegally. So they're going to just, you know, keep reaching further. So in a way, you know, I think DeFi, real true DeFi, is still safe from regulation, but I think that, you know, stable coins, because, you know, the government doesn't want you. Remember who has like the power in Washington? The big banks do. There's big lobbies. Their lobbyists are, you know, mostly the banks.
Right.
So they don't want people earning 10, 12% by staking their stable coin. They want you to get your 0.25% by putting it in a savings account or a CD or whatever. So they're against that, number one. Number two, you know, they just hired a whole bunch more people for the IRS because they want everyone to pay their taxes. So there's going to be a whole army of people regulating it. So the only good thing I can see is, so when this happens, I guess the roundabout, okay, Larry, spit it out. It's going to help with the mass adoption. That's what could make it go up 2% or more. Like you're saying, go from like 4% to 6%. It could be the highly regulated stuff. Also, the centralized dollar, the you know, the universal or the centralized bank dollar, because the Federal Reserve is coming out with one, but also the U.S. Treasury wants to come out with one. So that's a little bit confusing. But that also could bring perhaps people more comfortable with the technology, because everything is digital anyway. When you go to buy something, when you go buy gas at the gas station, more than likely you're paying with your card at the pump, because it's annoying to take your cash out. You know, it's raining. You got to go inside, see the girl. The girl could be pretty, but it doesn't even really matter. You don't want to just take the time to do that. You want to just slip the card in there and pay for it, right? So everything is digital almost now anyway, and they're trying to eliminate coins and stuff like that, change, pocket change. So right. I think the mass adoption is going to be helped by regulatory bodies, regulation, the SEC, whoever it is. The regulation that's happening in this country will spur mass adoption. That, and then also the centralized dollars, whether it's through the Treasury, the Federal Reserve. Other countries are going to have their own centralized digital dollar, so to speak, their own digital currency. And I think that will get people comfortable with the technology.
Yeah. Each country is developing. A lot of countries are already working on their central bank digital currency, CBDCs. So
Russia, everybody is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. Regulation is the only way forward. You know, people were fooling themselves when they were thinking, you know, this is never going to get regulated. They were just going to be the Wild West forever. And governments just don't allow that kind of thing to happen. You know,
So as far as the low cap tokens, like for example, MetaMonkey AI, some of the other ones, pick, you know, whatever your favorite low caps are right now, because here's my prediction for MetaMonkey. I'll get to the prediction in a second. But what I'm saying is, I think that we're safe. I don't think the regulatory bodies are going to reach this far. Not yet, but okay, so my prediction for MetaMonkey AI is that within the next 6 months, I can easily see this hitting a $1 billion market cap. Reason being is, I'm just going off of Saitama. I know everybody's going to hate me, and I don't even care. If Russ wants to call me up and hate me, he can hate me. I don't even care. I'll come to Texas and say, sorry, I made 105 videos. You know, I did a lot for you guys. So the thing is that Saitama got to $4 billion with nothing. But no one had better hype and there were like 32 people at the height that I counted talking about it, YouTubers like me and everybody. And, you know, a handful were paid. So people wanted to talk about it. But my point is that, you know, we know what happened in State of Mess. Comes out, doesn't work, this, that. I believe Russ when he said that top 5 exchange was coming and State of Mass was going to be the best, you know, DeFi wallet or whatever. It's going to be great. And November 13th happened and it didn't happen. But December happened and it still didn't happen. It pumped again. January happened. It still didn't happen. So my point being is we got to $4 billion with Saitama with a non-working product. MetaMonkey AI already has a collection of products, technologies, services, innovation that already functions and works. Blockchain technology, a wallet that works offline. It's already there. It just needs a paint job. You know, like whatever Awesome Austin said, it's just a matter of aesthetics, you know, making it look pretty, basically, is what I say. Look at the logo. Maybe they need to. I've seen it work. I've seen a demo of it. I can't, you know, share that, but I've seen a demo of it working. So they've already had it. Like I saw it like a month and a half ago, maybe a month ago. So they have the mall that's under works. We saw a preview of what they're working on with the videos they put out. They have Critivia World. So yeah, that right there. So I mean, this is like they're going to have another prediction is they're going to have a Fortune 500 company. I'm going to say within 1 year, they're going to have a client that's going to be a Fortune 500 company. I'm convinced of it. So
yeah, I like that. I thought about that as well. And that does make sense for a company to, especially a large company, to want to be the first, you know, want to come in and take up some real estate and, you know, in this mall.
Right.
But $1 billion, I mean, that's a pretty big prediction there. I hope you're right. Honestly, I hope you're right.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. The only thing that would prevent that from happening would be a catastrophe, a worldwide, you know, worse than a recession, just a total, complete, great reset type level financial meltdown where everything is on fire. We're in a World War III. We're in a war right now, but it's not World War III. If that was to happen, then all bets are off. But if it continues to go like this, we're in a bear market and this is still doing well. Now, what happens is if we get to a bear market, or if we get to a bull market, which I believe is going to happen in February, then this thing's going to go nuts. So, yeah. So I think we're going to be fine. I think $1 billion is easily attained with MetaMonkey AI within the next 6 months. And, you know, if we can't be 25% as good as Saitama with all these things coming out, exchanges, and they're not going to do something stupid. They're not going to be like, oh, you know, we're going to be on crypto.com, you know, next week. They might have aspirations, I'm sure, to be on every exchange, but they're not going to do like fake pumps like, oh, by the way, guys, we're going to be getting listed on Binance. You know, they're not going to do anything that's false. They're going to just announce it when it comes out.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the biggest. Somebody was asking me what was my kind of my number one reason why I liked, you know, MMAI, and that's the dev team, right? I mean, you have to have that solid dev team to get behind because they can fix the tech. You know, you can build a community, but you can't fix the dev team, right? If they're broken or there's something wrong with them, like you're kind of screwed from the beginning. And so hopefully this team has learned from all of the mistakes of the past of these other projects. Like I love the fact that there's only 10 billion supply, right? So they don't have to launch a V2 so that it can get on some of these top exchanges because they have 9 zeros that big exchanges hate and won't generally work with. And they don't have reflections, which big exchanges don't like that either. So they don't have to do anything to change that, which is really cool. And then the metaverse building, obviously, I think this is going to take a while to build out. And it's, you know, I think metaverse is, you know, the metaverse I think we're thinking of is likely, you know, years, if not, you know, many years away.
Well, they have Web3. When I talked to Augie a while back, which was more than a month ago, they have aspirations, but they have the technology already to incorporate Web3 solutions. So they can do a lot of different things in some different industries that are not well represented. Like they can easily add on to things with Shopify, accept crypto. They can do payment processing. You're going to see a lot of different small to medium sized companies in their mall, and they got Critivia World. So they definitely have something. So the metaverse is a concept that might be a little bit further off. And, you know, whatever, Zuckerberg has his Meta, but it's just nobody even cares about Facebook. So, but I mean, it might be a little bit of a longer evolutionary process for the full blown metaverse. But right now, I see them having revenue streams related to Web3 technology and some different industries that are not well represented currently online. And they've already tested this with the wine industry. They have the NFTs for that, and you can purchase the wine, and they'll have the ability to have an NFT where you purchase like a sneaker. You get a pair of sneakers. It can either be in the metaverse or delivered to your door, just like the video you saw. So I think it's going to be. I'm super, super excited about it. I don't foresee them having any issue because I'm just comparing it to what's already out. And, I'm thinking that we're looking at the next Sandbox or Decentraland because they don't even have the technology that MetaMonkey AI has now. And you can see what their market caps are, well over $1 billion. So, I just think that this is something where Sandbox is going to come calling them up, or Decentraland and call them up, and they need some sort of technology made, and they have it. They have all this, the ability, they have the people in place, and they already have the infrastructure. So I just see great things on the horizon.
No, you're absolutely right. And the fact that these the developers, the founders, owners, basically they already exist. They're already existing in that world, right? They already own AI companies and have been working in that for years. So this isn't new to them. They're not trying to figure it out. And they have the technology.
I'm sorry to cut you off. It's already the company that Augie owns, Augustine, is already that technology is already being used in industries such as the automotive industry. They're already using that. They're just taking it and transferring it into the metaverse. That same technology.
Right. Andrew, too. Thanks for showing up. Why not tonight? Yeah, let's to the moon. To the moon. Something's going to explode soon. Yeah. Larry.
When's the basketball game? Oh, okay. The basketball game. I'm waiting on a good chunk of crypto to come in. And when that comes in, I'll announce a date that we'll have a charity basketball event. We'll probably have it at a beach area, and it'll probably be in North Carolina. And then we'll have one there. And then the next one will be in Miami. And then the next one after that, the third one will probably go out west.
Cool. So a charity basketball game, what's that gonna what's the charity?
We haven't picked one yet, but basically I just love playing basketball, pick up basketball, and it doesn't have to be super competitive, but we'll just get a bunch of content creators and then also fans or viewers, whatever you want to call it, subscribers to different channels, anybody that wants to play in the game. And we'll have to do some kind of a vote ahead of time as to what charities we're going to donate to. And we'll accept crypto or cash, and then we'll show evidence of us donating it. And I think it'll be a fun time. And it won't just be basketball. It'll be, well, we can't say everything because we want people to be surprised, but there'll be like some great food and good entertainment and stuff like that.
Right. That's awesome. Excellent. I'm not much for basketball. I don't really follow it, and because I'm about 5'7", so.
That's okay. Well, you can come for the food and the entertainment. We'll have maybe we'll get like a band or something like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mentellect. Anyone watching the live stream today is an early entrant to crypto? Absolutely. That was something I was listening to today is just how small the space is. And that's kind of why I brought it up in the beginning. Obviously, and there are billions of people out there that are going to, look back and say, why didn't I get in earlier? That's the evolution of any new technology or any new industry. The early entrants are going to reap all the rewards. And the guys coming late to the party, they're just, most probably won't even know that crypto was adopted, that there's mass adoption because everything is running behind the scenes, like banking. You may not know, that your banking transfers are being run on, XRP or X or whatever, they're going to end up using what crypto they end up using for transfers and, what do you call them? Offshore banking and all that kind of stuff.
So like the Cayman Islands.
Yeah. So did you hear about so I guess there's a transfer tax that's been enacted, or it's going to go into effect for L Bank?
Yeah, I have. I just got this announcement right here. Is this starting September 11th?
Yeah, I think basically it's going to be for because of the exchanges. right? So the exchanges, if you move your money from, let's say MetaMask to LBank, you can basically skip that 8% and you only pay a 10%, withdrawal tax or sell tax.
Oh,
and so this is a way for them to kind of, I guess, stop the arbitrage, trading that people might do, because there's going to be an 8% difference. So,
no, well, good for them.
nobody likes it.
I'm glad that they recognize that as a potential issue, and they've done something to mediate that issue before it becomes one.
Yeah, and I think they realize that. I mean, these exchanges come out, and maybe not everybody has access to it, so it would give an advantage to some people and not to others. So
yeah,
I'm glad they did handle that early on and had the foresight to think about that.
That's good.
Let's see, Andrew. Yeah, Andrew too. Thanks again, Andrew, for showing up. I appreciate it. Bear market was an opportune time to launch because there's time to perfect the tech prior to a bull run. Yeah, absolutely. Anything that can last. You launch in a bear market. I mean, that's a tough thing to do for most projects. So you really got to have your stuff together. A lot of projects want to wait until they think, okay, like there's a bull run's coming, in the next, couple of months, even though we know we're months away from that.
Yeah.
But if it does well now,
when do you think the bull runs? Do you want to take a guess as to when the bull run starts, or you don't like?
Well, I'm with you. I don't think it starts until next year.
Okay.
What time? I don't know. I mean, we could see. I think this whole XRP or a Ripple lawsuit with the SEC, because it's so big. If that goes the way of Ripple, which I think it will, but I think that's going to be a big catalyst, because that's going to be clarity now. And if the SEC is kind of on their back foot, basically with these other exchanges and projects that they want to sue, I think that's going to give a big boost to the crypto industry.
Yeah.
And now
I agree.
So, and that could start something. That could be the start of something. It obviously depends on, all the rest of the market conditions and world conditions we're dealing with right now. Regulation will place utility premium on digital assets. Yep. What regulation will shock everyone, in my opinion. What you're saying, what the regulation is going to look like. I think that's going to shake a lot of projects out of the market. I think we're going to see a lot of crypto projects are not going to be allowed in the US once regulation starts. Anything offering, interest and, staking rewards and things like that, they're going to be, they are considered securities. So those are going to be, have to be registered and regulated, or else they won't be allowed in this country. It's in my mind. What's that, Tex? Crypto for starters. Para changed their contract and relaunched in preparation for regulations. What does Para know, and why would they do that if they weren't going to hit small market? Yeah, that's true. They can hit anybody, and I really think the SEC or whoever's regulating is going to go after the exchanges. And that's kind of how they're going to go after other projects. Is that's the easiest place to go, is just to the exchanges and make them register, and then the exchanges are going to have to go through different channels in order to allow projects to list on their exchange.
Right.
NATO chart looking great. Yeah, let's check this chart. I don't know when we're going to see we may see a 7. May see a 7 coming up here. So what else? Well, actually, you know what I want to talk about real quick, because I know you don't have much time. I wanted to talk about Terrarium a little bit. I know, despite the Twitter beef that's going on with everybody, I still hold Terrarium. I still believe in the project. I don't have to agree with the devs, and what they do on everything. That's not part of it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we can just kind of move on past that. And, not everybody has to be a maxi of one project. MMAI isn't competing with Terrarium or any other project, right? They're completely different, completely separate projects. So I just wanted to say that. And because I know people are wondering, do you hate Terrarium now? Are you still a holder? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, I like Terrarium, right? I just don't approve of some of the things the devs do, and some of the people in the community, they say dumb things sometimes, and people overblow it a little bit. So I know I heard your take on Terrarium. You sold yours a little while back.
Mm-hmm.
And are you planning on getting in if you see him doing, dropping an exchange or?
Well, for me, it's like I try to be objective about it. For me, it was more like a personal choice because I contacted them back on the 21st of May and they hadn't contacted me, invited them to come on my show for free. So I think that they, to be non-biased, I think that they have potential. Let me just say this one thing. So I think what I was going to say earlier is we've got $1 trillion market cap. So it's hard to attract outside money. So one project or one crypto is not competing against the other, but in a sense they are, because there's only so much money invested. So when you need to, for example, what I did is I sold off my terrarium and I put it into MetaMonkey, and I didn't do it out of spite, and I didn't even announce that I did it, but I did it because I needed to get some money to put into something. And I wanted to take a break from terrarium. It doesn't mean that I hate terrarium. It's just that terrarium, to me, to be non-biased about it, has a real opportunity to be a major crypto exchange in the Indian market. I think they could do well there. What I don't like terrarium, other than the fact that they didn't contact me, is I don't like the fact they have a lot of zeros. And I think that, if they want to be a crypto exchange, they're going to need to probably go with another contract. Unfortunately, they might have to, go to a V2 just to kind of clean it up, because remember, all the good exchange coins, because right now they're a token, but if they had their own blockchain, they'll be a coin, right? So if you look at, for example, on Coinbase, I can buy crypto.com. All the good exchanges, they need to be able to be on the other exchanges before they become an exchange, and even after they become an exchange. So like KuCoin, is available on other exchanges. So I think that they need to, position themselves in the crypto market as a cryptocurrency exchange of the future for India. And in order to do that, they're probably going to have to change their contract, and they're going to probably have to design it so that they can be exchange listing friendly, because they want to get on, crypto.com costs $1.5 million to get on, but do you know how many exchanges they're on now? I mean, I won't hold you to it, but I'm not even sure.
No, I don't know. It's obviously several, but obviously none of the big ones.
Okay, that's okay. Well, it's a start. I just think that they need to get serious about getting on exchanges, because exchanges need to be on other exchanges. And then that way, and also get serious about having their own blockchain. If they do that, if they have their own, I know they have like a Terra launch pad. And see, I contacted them a long time ago, but they didn't get back to me. I contacted them a second time too. But my point is that I would consider getting back in. I would like them to contact me directly and talk about some things that I have concerns with, just from an investment standpoint. But I would like to see them go to a V2, even though I'm not a big fan of V2. And I would like them to go with the mindset of, we're going to try to get on as many exchanges as we can, because they want to be in the business of a crypto exchange. So I think that their roadmap should include a blockchain, which I think it does. And I think it should include a very aggressive plan to get on as many exchanges as they can.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with you there, and obviously marketing is a big thing that they've not done any of it all, and I know people are upset about that, and that's a valid point.
They did do a lot of marketing, and they okay, so I got into it because of Awesome Austin, and before that I heard about it from Ryan Patrick, but I got into it. I didn't know that about the pre-sale, and I didn't pay attention. I did get into it on launch. So, and then, a bunch of people talked about it. Believes talked about it. Rodney talked about it. So I was excited. Jeremy talked about it. Crypto Realist. I was watching a launch that day. But then they went out and hired a bunch of bigger name influencers, and that didn't do anything. But I think you're right. I think like with MetaMonkey AI, for example, they did a good job hiring a lot of influencers like yourself and a bunch of other people. But I'd like to see them also, put a good emphasis on marketing. That's a good point, because right now, I think the only person talking about it is Crypto Stacker. Dean. I like Dean.
Yeah.
And other than that, I don't think anyone's talking about terrarium.
Yeah, well, and you're right. But what I'm talking about is outside marketing, outside of crypto content creators, or on YouTube and social media. I'm talking about because basically we, in this space, we're talking to the same group of people, right?
That's true.
Yeah, I mentioned it's very small. It's a very small group of people, and then it's also a much smaller group of people who are on, Twitter or YouTube.
Yep.
So I think we're all talking to the same audience, and they have to figure out a way to bring new audience members in, to the fold, and MetaMonkey is going to have to do the same thing. Every project needs to figure out how they're going to market and how they're going to get out there. Now, MetaMonkey AI, I believe, is going to have a much easier time, just because of what it is, the project itself. So I am excited for that. But one last thing, I know you have to run.
Okay.
I want to talk about utility real quick, and this applies to both Terrarium and MetaMonkey AI, right? So true utility is true token utility is when people have a need, right, to buy and use the token. That's when things get interesting, right, in these projects. And for Terrarium, currently there's no reason for anybody to buy the token other than speculation, that it's going to go up in value someday. And when TerraPool came out, people thought it was going to pump, and it didn't. And I explained it on a couple of my videos on why that doesn't happen. The exchange is going to happen, and maybe there's a slight pump because of that, but you don't have to have the token in order to use the exchange.
Right.
Blockchain comes out, and only if it's a blockchain that people or other projects are going to build on top of, there won't be a reason to own the token, right? I mean, KuCoin is a great example. They have their own token.
Right.
It's worthless. I mean, there's no reason to buy it. So that's the kind of thing that I think a lot of these projects are going to struggle with. And the MMAI I don't think they've quite put it all together yet, and are figuring out where they can maybe use the token, maybe in the mall somehow, or somebody has to buy MetaMonkey AI tokens in order to put their shop in there or whatever. They're going to have to work through that and figure out what the true utility of this token is going to be. So what's your thought on that?
Well, one thing to point out is that the token for MetaMonkey AI will be tied to the the NFTs that they're going to have, which will be limited to 1,000, and that will be rewards for the revenue that they generate in the future. But the reason to buy it, to me, is what makes MetaMonkey AI special to me is that they can reach out to brick and mortar type of companies. So those stores like Foot Locker or the Nike store or stuff like that. I got my Nike shirt on. They can get those type of stores in their mall. So it could be small, medium, large companies. Whereas Terrarium is like kind of stuck in the crypto world because it's like wants to be an exchange, which is fine, but MetaMonkey kind of reaches outside of crypto. MetaMonkey is trying to bring companies into crypto and into the metaverse more specifically. So I think that, to me, I see a lot bigger potential for it because when I look at Terrarium, I just see a website. When I look at MetaMonkey AI, I see 3 companies that are technology companies, 2 think tanks, a university, an NS lab. I see, really, really smart people surrounding it as far as advisors and things like that. So I don't see anything other than speculation, like you said, for Terrarium. With MetaMonkey AI, I see a collection of products and services already here. And it's just a matter of just time for them to flesh it out as far as, people calling them. So there's going to be 2 groups of people calling them as far as clients. You're going to have people that are in crypto and the metaverse calling them. Somebody like Metafluence or the Sandbox or Decentraland Mana or any other metaverse project can call them to get some technology for their own metaverse. And then
those are great points. I mean, really, and right there, I think is where a lot of that kind of self-generated marketing happens, right? Because if Foot Locker wants to go in there, well, Foot Locker is going to advertise that they're in there. So they're going to get all of that. It's going to come behind it. So those are great points.
Right. So the other client is like the Foot Locker, which has nothing to do right now with crypto, but that could be, MetaMonkey AI could be the entree for some of these companies to get into it, or even an industry, to get into the crypto world and the metaverse world. So I'm excited about it. I think that, I would love to spend more time talking to you, not just about MetaMonkey AI, but just about crypto in general and about life. But unfortunately, I got my show coming up at 9 o'clock, so I have to schedule it and get it going. But it's been really a pleasure to be here tonight, and also to talk to your audience as well.
I appreciate you, brother. I do appreciate you coming on. I do enjoy your show, and you're a good dude, very intelligent. So, and you like to keep it real, right? And that's what I like to do. I just I call my show straight talk, and I just want to keep it real, keep the hype out of it. And
I like that, straight talk. That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good name for it, because you're very straight and to the point, and no BS and stuff like that. So that's good.
Yeah. Well, Michael, I appreciate you. Larry.
That's okay. That's my son's name, so you're close. But yeah,
okay.
It's Larry.
Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Larry. Yeah, I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
Go have a good show.
All right, we'll catch up another time, and I'd be love to have you come over to our show sometime. Crypto Talk Now.
All right. Thanks.
Take care.
2Bit Crypto. Hey, thanks for joining. I do appreciate you showing up. I put my link over in our Telegram group. If anybody wants to hop on and join, you're welcome to. I can stay on for a little while longer. We can chat more about MetaMonkey AI or whatever you like. Now that I'm in the swing of it. 2Bit Crypto. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you showing up. Tim Shea, you too. Also, always a friendly guy to interact with on these spaces. Flippy floppies. I'm assuming that must be a 2-bit reference. Racket Club. Facebook would be good. MetaMonkey AI extended marketing effort. Yeah, it would. Anything that's going to get that name out there and beyond, people that already exist in the crypto world. Because this, like I said, we're pretty much all just talking, to the same groups of people, especially in the DeFi and in the smaller space, the, meme coin or community tokens, whatever you like to call it. That's always a struggle. And I think people forget how small, this space really is. And you have the same, like Larry was mentioning, you have the same group of buyers, and sometimes they have to liquidate, other projects in order to move into new ones. And, that's no fun for anybody. The CryptoSmith and Larry, Selmo Fudd, I appreciate you showing up. Thank you. Thanks for the support. Thank you, Crypto for Starters. Alex, I appreciate it. Nice interview. Thank you. Red Sox, I appreciate that. I don't know if anybody's still left on here. I guess I can check my feed, see what's going on. It doesn't, obviously, when you're streaming, it doesn't tell me how many people are watching. So I have no idea. If MMAI makes 1 billion market cap, that would, yeah, that would be fantastic for a lot of us who got in early. And I'm assuming Red Sox, you got in early. So let's check the chart. It's been just hovering around that 67 mark for a while. It's and slow and steady. And I think once we hit over sevens, we may see some profit taking going on. That's basically when people 2x your money. It's so that 7 may be the magic, maybe the magic number. And what else can we talk about? Actually, I wanted to talk about Luna. I was going to talk about it with Larry, but Larry had to go. He's got his own show going on. But Luna, maybe I don't understand it. Maybe I haven't done enough research into it. And I'm talking about Luna Classic. Now, I know Luna, the blockchain, still has projects, I believe, that are working on it. Although I know like 50 or more moved over to the Polygon blockchain, took all their projects and money over there once the crash happened. But I don't understand the Luna Classic thing. And maybe somebody can educate me on, other than hype and other than speculation, why Luna Classic? Is there something to it? And for me, I think about it as it's something that crash caused a lot of misery. And I know people like to make money, and that's kind of why I stayed out of it. Just because, obviously it wrecked a lot of people's lives. And now, we're trying to, the crypto community is trying to get it back. So I just wondering, what am I missing on Luna C, right? I don't own any. I don't plan on buying any. I'll probably miss out on, awesome gains, sweet gains, I'm going to miss. But I would love somebody to educate me on that. Let me know what I'm missing. Damn good show. Hey, thanks a lot, Michael. I appreciate it. Crypto Lounge. If you guys get a chance, go over to Crypto Lounge's show. He puts on some good videos, good live streams. Crypto for Starters, the same 2-bit, obviously. It's got a great show. He's been doing it a while. Get over there and do. I believe he does the marbles race. I think that's where I saw it the first time. And who else do we had? Texas Tornado. I don't know if you're still in here, but he's got a great channel. He does a ton of interviews on AMAs on NFT projects, mostly on the Crow blockchain, Kronos. So if you get a chance, go over there. Let me check to see if anybody wants to get on with me here. Before I head out for the night. Crypto bubbles. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to the market in general. Bitcoin. What do you guys think is going to happen on Monday? I'm always interested to see, why things move on the weekend and then don't end up moving on Monday, or why they move on Monday and on the weekend. We got many different schools of thought. And then Bitcoin. There's always Bitcoin. I don't own any Bitcoin. I don't plan on buying any Bitcoin. I see Bitcoin as useless to me. Bitcoin is just, I don't know what it is about it. It just seems useless. It's they say it's a store of value. They say it's the digital gold. I just don't know. It's so much energy to produce, and it just doesn't have any utility. It's slow and relatively expensive, I believe, to move around. Kind of like Ethereum, but that's a whole nother story. So I don't think I'm going to have anybody else getting on, which is totally fine. Been about an hour. And let's see if I can come up with something else to discuss. I don't know. You guys want to talk about XRP? I do some content on XRP. It doesn't get a lot of attention because it's kind of boring and it's really, blue chip stuff. And that's yawn, right? Nobody likes the blue chips talking about it. It's not very exciting because it doesn't move very much. But I know that this lawsuit is going to be over. If you don't know, the SEC sued Ripple, said that they basically back in 2013, 14, 15, they were selling XRP as illegal securities, unregistered securities. So we've had this going on for a long time, which is why XRP price is down and has been down, but we are getting near the end. And the prediction right now is settlement before November, or it goes the distance. It's going to go all the way to the judge, basically coming down to their decision on whether XRP or is a security or not. So what do you guys think about XRP? Does anybody have an opinion? Does anybody own any XRP? Thanks again, Michael. Appreciate it. Red Sox. I agree about Bitcoin. Yeah, Alex, it's just you have maxis out there, and I don't get it. I mean, I understand they're in it for the money. They're in it because they assume, and I'm sure it will. It's going to go up, and it, in one day, far in the future, it'll probably be $1 million Bitcoin. But it doesn't do anything, right? It's definitely the least exciting of all of the crypto assets out there. It's like the fossil of crypto. Yeah, and people love it because it's the first, and that. To hang on to that is, if you're a Bitcoin maxi, just, I don't know, doesn't make any sense to me. Michael Saylor, who's a huge Bitcoin maxi, I think his company keeps this price propped up because he buys and owns so much of it. It's like the fossil of crypto. I love that. I'm going to use that. Stealing that one, Alex. Thank you. Yeah, 2-bit. Congratulations. I don't know if you're still here. 10,000 subs, man. That's quite an accomplishment. Way to go. You deserve it. You put out great content. You're very consistent. So that's what you have to do. I want to buy XRP, buy the dip. Yeah, I buy mine on KuCoin if you need to know where to buy it, because I know you can't get it on any of the the US major exchanges, and I think you can buy it on Uphold. No, I don't know if you can buy it on Uphold or not. Anyway, I buy all mine on KuCoin. It's super easy, and then I just flip it right over to my Ledger Nano X. Hopefully, you guys have your crypto secured with your offline wallets, your hardware wallets. That is something I'm definitely big on that, right? I had this is embarrassing, but I got scammed, a few months back and lost about $5,000 off my my MetaMask because I clicked on a link like an idiot, and somebody drained my MetaMask account, and so ever since then I have 95% of my crypto sitting in my ledger. That way nobody can touch it. I don't even trade out of there. I put on it. I put it in there. I locked it and I throw it away. Well, I didn't throw it away, but I have it in my drawer here. That way it stops me from being impulsive and, doing stupid things with it and, trying to get it in and out of trades and stuff. I don't get why Gary Gensler hates XRP so much. It's a good question. I think the SEC in general, and I don't know who's behind the scenes there, but when this lawsuit first came out, the people who voted for the lawsuit nearly 2 years ago are part of law firms that represent Ethereum and the Ethereum Foundation and Consensus. They basically run Ethereum. So they still see XRP as a competitor. The idea was in years ago that Ethereum was going to be used for cross-border payments, and obviously that is what XRP is going to do and already does, right? And they've been doing it for years, and so I think they see that as a competitor, so they wanted to try to take them down or at least slow them down. But I don't think Ethereum is capable of doing that. Like there's this whole V2 thing coming out, the 2.0. I don't think it's going to be any better. They already said it's not really going to be any faster, and they said that the fees weren't going to really be any less. So I don't know, just to get it out of the proof of work kind of camp. So, I mean, that's why they're doing it, which my son is excited about them getting away from proof of work, because I think there's going to be a lot of video cards now that are going to be cheaper and more readily available than used to, because obviously people use them to mine Ethereum. Gary Gensler, yeah, man, he's not a well-liked individual right now. There's a lot of groups going after him, getting him to resign. There's just so much conflict there at the SEC. It really is probably at least one of the most corrupt government agencies that I'm aware of. And it's overt what they do. And they want to back, banks, and they want to keep their buddies who work at these big banks and financial institutions. They want to continue to use the dollar, and they're kind of pushing back against Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, but crypto adoption, which to me is dumb, because they're going to get left behind if they do that, and they can still make money. I'm right. If they use crypto, right, there's still fees that they charge. People still need to use a bank. So I don't really get. I know it's going to be a tough transition getting away from the paper dollar. Eventually someday we're going to get beyond, paper money, and it's going to just be digital money. And that may not be for a long time yet, but we have to start somewhere. And I think XRP is going to be used to move money all over the world, just like XLM, that I'm into, and Algorand, Quant. If you don't own any of these coins, and, people say ISO, 222 coins, but they're, the ISO 222 is just a messaging, system, basically, just like Swift, is now. So the coins have nothing to do with that. They're just compliant. They're able to be used on that type of a system. So why wouldn't they buy a bunch of crypto, then allow mass adoption and make a ton of money? Yeah, you know what? I would guarantee that a lot of them are and do. I guarantee a lot of them own Bitcoin. I mean, we see big companies owning Bitcoin right now. They buy in Ethereum as well, and XRP. I know that they're buying XRP because they know that XRP is going to be used some way, somehow. It's not going to move all the money, but it's going to be used in payments and CBDCs. Yeah. I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't know what's going to break the camel's back here with all of these banks, really pushing back. When you can see countries, right, or already, I talked about it earlier, countries are already developing their own central bank digital currency that they can use in their country. And one of those possible use cases for XRP is to bridge assets between countries. Like, if the UK has their own CBDC and the US makes their own, well, they're not going to allow the US CBDC to be used in their country because they have their own. So there's going to need to be a bridge currency between all of the different CBDCs around there. And I do believe that's what XRP would be used for. There really isn't any other use or any other crypto out there that has the technology and the backing and the years of business infiltration, right? They've been marketing this thing, the XRPL and RippleNet, for years. So they've got so much of a head start over anybody else who would even attempt to compete with them. That's why I'm so big on XRP. So I think we're just over an hour. I think I'm probably going to bounce. Well, unless you guys want to keep talking, I'll keep talking. I can be here all night. I really don't have anything to do. 9/11 was a tragedy, and the Iraq invasion was an even bigger tragedy. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if that has anything to do with crypto, but 9/11 was a tragedy. I do remember, and sometimes we talk about this, you always think, if you're old enough, you kind of think back to the day that happened, where you were and what you were thinking. And I was, I'll just tell you my quick story on 9/11. I was in bed, actually asleep. I lived in Las Vegas at the time with my girlfriend. We weren't married yet. And she was at work, and she called me, and I was sleeping in because I was lazy. And she called me. She says, "You got to turn the TV on." And we had a TV in the room. So I turned the TV on, and it's on every channel, right? So I didn't have to find it. And I'm just watching this building, burn in New York. And I'm thinking this is a movie, right? I was just waking up, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And she's like, we're getting attacked, or said something to that effect. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And that was right before the second plane hit the building. And so I watched that live, and I'm thinking, this can't possibly be real. Right. The two planes going through a building, what kind of an accident is that? Like what kind of an error could these pilots have made in order to crash into a building? And then it started, then people are talking about it, in the news, and more comments are coming in. And then I thought about it, and I thought, well, obviously that had to have been on purpose. Right. So all of these thoughts are, flooding through your head, and you're like, what is going on? This can't be real. And then, and of course, obviously the rest of the day you're glued to the television watching it all unfold. It was terrible. But just a horrible thing to watch and go through. And you felt, terrible for the family members who had, family members in the air, and they knew they were on a plane somewhere, and they didn't know if that was it their plane, was not their plane, can't reach anybody. It's just, man, I couldn't even imagine that. The Iraq invasion was a bigger tragedy. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to agree that sometimes we do things for the wrong reason. And sometimes it may start out, with a good idea, but it's, it is what it is. Unfortunately, we can change things like that with our vote. I was in 8th grade, first hour science class. Yeah. That tells you how much older I am, right? I'm 52 right now. So, I was living my best life in Vegas then. 8th grade, first hour science class. Yeah. So I'm imagining they probably turned the TV on, or, which that would be tough to make kids watch that. But you saw, well, I don't know if you saw it on your phone or somebody called you or whatever, but yeah. And I don't know if you're in 8th grade, if you can really comprehend, just the scope of that, and how big that was. Changed the country, obviously changed a lot of things. Was it planned? I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't, I don't believe in those kind of things. Bad things happen, all the time. And it was, a bad dude planned it, and made it happen. I'm shocked that it got that far. I think it was 4 planes. One went into the Pentagon. One crashed into the ground because of some brave passengers heard what was going on. Flight 93, I believe that was, and I think there's a movie or documentary about it where they rushed the pilot, who was, because they figured out they were gonna, obviously he was gonna fly it into something and kill a bunch of people, so they decided to drive it into the ground instead. So that, I'm sure, was, pee your pants kind of moment. You watched it all day. Wow. That's a lot of tragedy to make some eighth graders watch. That's surprising. Tim Shea was in the crypto lounge at the Racket Club to watch the Red Sox game and seen CryptoSmith to ask about crypto because he wanted a course on crypto for starters and not some 2-bit crypto. Nice, Fiverr. Nice, Fiverr. I haven't been on a lot of streams lately. Fiverr always comes through with the good rhymes. So that is, I think we're going to call it, guys. I think we talked about, actually, you know what? I'm going to talk a little bit more about terrarium and not, hopefully you guys, and I'm nobody here that I'm aware of, had anything to do with any social media, beef back and forth, and hopefully we can keep things nice and civil. And it's okay. I tell people all the time, it is okay to have more than one crypto, right? And somebody who has all of their money, actually, let me back up and explain the crypto cycle and why I believe, and you let me know if I'm right or not, or if you think this way too, why communities turn toxic, right? And all of it has to do with money, and it has to do with, devs not communicating, a chart that looks, let's see, not picking on terrarium. This is just an example, and it, in order to just display my point, right? And we got to zoom out on this. Let's go a day chart. Whoa. So you can see, obviously, from being way up here to, kind of tinkering around here and then dropping. This is what happens when you're here for months, right? And this has been months of it not really going anywhere, definitely not going back to its all-time high. Some of it is market conditions where everything is dropping, but some of it's not. Some of it's the communities getting restless of the price not going anywhere. And that's, I don't know if you can blame the project itself or the expectations of the people who hold the token. Now, if you're a Terra holder, right, you want to see the price go up. You don't care what it takes, right? You're there to make some money. It was way up here and you were making money. Now all your money's gone and it's down here, and you're frustrated, right? And maybe you're somebody who has a big bag of this because you put all of your money in it. And well, there's your first lesson, right? Don't do that. Diversify. And your second lesson is patience, right? This is still going to take a while for them to build out. They have their exchange dropping sometime in November-ish timeframe. But I don't expect the price is going to pump unless the market's, pumping already and Bitcoin's moving, because if Bitcoin doesn't move, nothing moves. Well, besides MMAI right now, because it's a new project and it's still got that new project shine on it and everybody loves it. So it still moves. Day chart's going to look, yeah, the day chart looks excellent for this one, obviously. So yeah, toxic communities develop over time because of the prices stagnant for too long, and the devs then turn around and they don't want to communicate as well as they did in the beginning. And I did post some stuff on Twitter, a little controversial, basically stating that these projects use the communities to build their ecosystem out. And then unfortunately, I think some of the developers think they're too big for the community and they lose interest in, having to put themselves out there. So, and I know the devs of Terrarium are intelligent people, right? I mean, they're doctors and pilots and, and they have real lives and they're intelligent. They understand what they're doing. But they're also in a different country than I am. So I can't expect that they're going to know or think the same way I do, right? They have different expectations. They have different backgrounds, different cultures. So, having to take all that into account is not easy for a crypto investor, especially a first-time investor. You don't always you don't always think about those things when you go into it, right? You just throw money at it and you say, win Moon, win Lambo. And you don't realize this is a long-term hold. And obviously a much longer term hold than anybody ever thought. I just noticed K-Pets over here is killing it today. This is Crypto Pets, if you don't know. I'd love to have them on my channel someday. They got a great project. They're really super nice people. I've seen them on several of the other content creators, that I work with, on their channels. I'd love to talk to these guys. This is probably, I actually own some tokens because I won them on Nick's channel, Texas Tornado. I appreciate that. And I also won them on Michael's channel, Crypto Lounge. I appreciate that. Ethereum has to relaunch and lower supply. Yeah. Everybody talks about that. And you wonder if you're that intelligent, why would you do that? Right. Which is why I love MMAI, because of the price already where you're already at, only 3 zeros before you're into the good stuff. So, why do they do it? Who knows? It's crazy. And reflections is another thing that kills me. Like you're not getting that much out of it unless you own a ton of it. And I know like Crypto Stacker Dean, who I've met, I actually had lunch with him a few weeks ago. He's a sweetheart of a guy. He's got a very large stack and he displays it on his videos. He tells you how much he has and how much he's getting, and he's getting a decent amount of reflections, especially with all the selling going on right now. But it doesn't make any sense because large exchanges hate that. They don't want to work with it. A lot of times they won't allow you on it, or they're going to tell the projects that, well, we're just going to keep the reflections for ourselves. They're not going to go back to the holder. And then of course with, you got a billion zeros, in the price, and they're not designed, their exchanges aren't designed to work with that. So yeah, I think they're probably going to have to if they want to get on these big exchanges. A lot of these communities are just a bunch of Ferengis. I don't know if that's if I'm getting in trouble now because I just pronounced a very bad word in another language, or are these Ferengis from Star Trek? Is that Star Trek? I don't know. One of the space shows, I'm guessing. Fiverr. Guy Richards. Thanks for joining us, Guy. I appreciate it. I did see you. I think I saw you on my Twitter. You were asking when I was going to do it. Terra needs to get honest with themselves and learn from their mistakes. Yes, they do. And like I was saying, unfortunately, this is just my opinion. In my opinion, the devs feel like they're above their community, and sure, they're smart and they're in charge and they're doing what they want to do. But the community is what makes these tokens, right? They would be nothing and nowhere without the community that is helping them build. So they really have to stay true to the community, right? And I hope, we all hope that MetaMonkey can do that, and they've been doing it so far, and the communication has been great. But yeah, if they can get out of that mindset, I think that we don't have to update our community every time, every day, or anytime something comes out. But yeah, yeah, you do. You really do. And no, the doctors don't have to come on and give an AMA every other day, but they need a real liaison, I guess is what they're going to call it, a liaison, to the communities, so that they can go on and say, hey, I just talked to the dev team, here's what's going on. Here's what they're thinking, right? Here's the plans, for the next, couple of weeks. That's what they need. And they don't have that. They have RD Price, who I don't know, I'm sure he's a nice guy, even though he blocked me on Twitter because I didn't agree with, something that he said. But he's just social media marketing. That's all he's doing. He's not a community liaison. He's not bringing that information. And unfortunately now I think he's probably blocked half of the terrarium holders anyway, because I guess that's just the way he does things. So anyway, I don't want to talk bad about him because I don't know the guy, and you can't really get a sense of somebody just through some Twitter posts. So I don't want to bash him for that. So and maybe I said something I don't realize. Maybe I offended him in a way that didn't seem offensive to me, but maybe he took it wrong, which is possible. I'm not. Sometimes I say things that I shouldn't say and put my nose where it doesn't belong. So that does happen. Great job, Sean. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. You're doing great work with the community follow and look forward to seeing more live feeds. Yeah, I really do need to do more lives. And it's, when you get on and you don't really have anybody watching you, on the live stream, it's hard for me to, basically I have to entertain myself, at that point. And that's not the easiest thing. I've managed to get fairly proficient at doing videos. And, I just, hooray for me. I just did my 100th video the other day. So that was my initial goal in this space, was to just do, I watched a video on starting a YouTube channel, and they said, just hit record and go do 100 crappy videos. And by the time you get done, with that, you're obviously going to be much better at doing videos and titles and thumbnails, which I absolutely despise doing thumbnails, because I am the least creative person that I know, right? I'm all technical and, utility driven, but not creative in the least. But I do appreciate you, Guy, for that comment. I do try to work at this, and I will do more live streams, I promise, and let you guys in. And, if anybody ever wants to join me one day, feel free. I'll shoot you a link and you can get on here. We can cut it up and talk about crypto or whatever, right? It's a community building. That's what I want to do. So just to backtrack on Terrarium. Terrarium's a great project. I still believe in it. Okay. So anybody who watches this, I'm not a hater of Terrarium. I own Terrarium tokens, not a small to medium sized bag. So I want to see it work, and I want to see it work well. And I want to see them, solve these issues of, like, why do people need to own the token, and how are you going to market this outside of crypto, right? Yeah, I talk a lot about how small the size of crypto is, and if you're a project and you only exist in the crypto world, your market size is so limited. And I don't know if you guys were around. I'm sure you guys were around a year ago when, it was, I call it Inu season, where every day there was a new project with Inu after it. And most of them were scams, but the market is so small that you could go and you could actually track wallets, and you could see the wallets, the same group of people just moving from one, basically like locusts, moving from one project, helping it pump, pulling all their money out, going to another project, helping it, and that's just the way it is, right? You had to deal with that. But no, people don't think about those kind of things when they're in it. They're just excited, like, oh my gosh, it's new token. Yeah, I'm going to make $1 million here today. Let me put in my $3.84 so I can withdraw $1 million tomorrow. And, some of them were able to do something like that, but most of them, lost money and got stuck into long-term projects like Terrarium, where they thought they was going to go to the moon, and things happened and turned, and here we are. So what else can we talk about, people? I do appreciate you guys showing up, and Fiverr, I appreciate you showing up too. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this for whoever's watching. Sometimes I open my mouth and I say things that I shouldn't be saying. And whoever's watching, you know who you are. I do apologize for, creating drama. I hate drama. I hate it. But yesterday I, opened my mouth and, created drama for no reason. It was stupid. So I'll just throw that out there. All right, boys and girls, I think we are about done here. I'm going to get out. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. Right. NFL season. So get up early, or whatever time you got to get up, and maybe watch some football if that's your thing. I happen to be running the survivor pool for football for work, which kind of sucks because everybody has to text me, and I gotta keep it all together and keep all the money and all that. But I'll get through it. If you can't convince yourself about something, then how will you be able to convince others? It's good to be able to talk to yourself. You're the best cynic. Yeah. I do that thing at work too. It's funny because you're trying to make somebody laugh, but I make a mistake. I work in I'm an inside sales guy for a company, and it's in the plumbing industry. So it's, you can imagine the kind of people I work with, that, you F-bombs, just flowing all day long. So I to yourself, you make a mistake, and I'm like, God, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that? Right. So I can be a cynic and a critic for sure. And that I will have to work on. And maybe I just have to get on live streams by myself if nobody shows up. That's okay. I still need to have content rolling, record it, throw it on the channel, and help my channel grow, because that's why I'm here, to bring you guys information and hopefully a little entertainment. Red Sox, bye. I appreciate you stopping by. For everybody else, thank you for stopping by. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. You know, then that's it. I don't know how to exit this. I'm just going to go. Okay. You guys all have a great night and a great weekend. We'll see you guys.